Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and another video. Today I have my July wrap-up for you. So the books that I have read in July and what I think about them. I read 4 books, 3 fantasy novels and 1 historical fiction slash paranormal story. And what I will do is I will go again from the least favorite book to the most favorite book. I had 2 3.5 free-ish books there. You know that on Goodreads you can not give half points, so it's 3 points there. In my opinion, it's more like 3.5, but it's not yet 4. And 2 5-star books. So we had 2 middle of the road and 2 yay. So let's start and get into the wrap. So let's start with the first 3.5-star book, which was unfortunately a disappointment for me because it's a sequel. It's Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahorine, and this is the second book to the Serpent and Dove trilogy, and the last book is coming out now in August. It's Gods and Monsters, and yeah, what can I say about this book? It's not really bad, but it's also not really good. It suffers from middle book syndrome. I think it's just a recycled version of the first book, which is sad because I really liked the first book. In the first book we have, this is about a witch and a witch hunter who have to get married, of course against their will, and we go from there because of course he has to find out that she's a witch, and they are actually mortal enemies, and she is running away from her mother, who is a very, very bad witch and wants to kill off everyone, and we go from there. And I really like the first book because Lou, which is the who's the main female character, she's absolutely inappropriate. I love that she's feisty, but she's really vulgar in a way as well. And Reed, who is then later her husband and of course the love interest in the book, is very proper. And because he's connected to the church, the hunters are connected to the archbishop. They are faithful, pious people. And it's very funny to see how he has to interact with her, and it was hilarious and interesting and on a fantastical note there. This book is like, we of course I cannot say that much about it, but we actually follow the group that survived the end of the first book, so to say, and we have of course the couple, Lou and Reed, still in here, and topics that I thought we already had overcome in the first book, actually. You know, the distrust between witch and witch hunter. He doesn't like magic and things like that. We had the same topics over and over again, and you always had the feeling, or I had a feeling, that I thought we were already over that. I thought we had done that and we had discussed it and everything was fine, and now we are trying to stop her mother and get happy. I don't know. It was typical YA, the back and forth, and it really annoyed me. It didn't annoy me in the first book because it was part of the story, and understandable that Reed was struggling so much with what he thought about witches and the destruction that they actually brought. But it was really annoying. And also that, you know, they try to find allies in here against the witch, also the king, and of course they have to find other magical creatures that help, and etc. I thought it wasn't that original. It was the same plotline as the first book, because of course we are running away from the witch and then we try to kill the witch, so it's like it's problematic. And yeah, I wasn't a fan of this. I still read will read the third book. I already pre-ordered it with Fairy Loot, but I must say I was really disappointed. Judging from actually my enjoyment of the first book, I thought this would be much better. The second 3.5 stars was more to the 4 stars, but still in a way a disappointment as well, although the book is still good and I will recommend other people to read it, and that's A Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I was really waiting for reading this, because everyone was talking about it last year, right? And I actually already wanted to read it last year, and it took a long time, and that's why I was very happy to read this. But it wasn't just like, it was okay, I guess, but it wasn't wowing me. And probably I thought it would because everyone else loved it so much. So we follow Noemi here, who is that her name? Oh my god, yeah, Noemi. This is set in Mexico. We follow Noemi. It's in the 1950s, and her cousin just married a wealthy, or at least not a wealthy, but what seems to be a wealthy English young man of a English family, and they have a house in somewhere in the mountains in Mexico, and she gets letters from her cousin who are very disconcerting. It's like something is going on there, and it seems like her cousin is not feeling well, and she thinks she's haunted or something like this. And that's why Noemi goes to visit her cousin and check out what's going on with her cousin and in general. I think lots of people thought that this is a vampire story, and I will just say nothing on that. I want you to find out yourself. But the only thing I can say is that the twist in here, which is like, it's a bit like a haunted house story as well. I didn't buy into the twist, and it's a paranormal element, and I think that lessened my enjoyment of the book, because I couldn't really fall for it in a way. And that's why I thought like, okay, but that's it? There are very gruesome moments in here, and it's very accurate in the way women were treated in the 1950s. Also from, what their reasons for life are, and what they're expected to do, etc. So I think this is a good depiction of that. Otherwise, you will have to judge yourself whether the mystery is worth it in the end. But yeah, that's what I can say. I feel like, oh, okay, it's not bad that I read it, but it wasn't the best thing I read in July, definitely not. So let's move on to the 2 5-star books that I had, and the first one is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden, which is the second novel in the Winter Night trilogy. The first one was The Bear and the Nightingale, and I read that in April. I will link the wrap up here for you so that you can have a look what I said about that. But what I can say here is I loved it as much as the first book, and I can't even imagine that the third book should be even better, because I heard from everyone who read that it's getting better and better as the story progresses. In the first book, Vasya, who is the daughter of a boyar in the Russian countryside. This is a historical Russian setting in the times of the Tsars. Vasya can speak to spirits, and the story is actually about the battle of two entities, fear and death. It's the Winter King and the Bear, who battle, so to say, their power over people and life and in general, because it's the Christianity is coming, and the old legends and the old gods are disappearing, and these two, so to say, still hang on and try to have the power there. And we have the connection of Vasya, who tries to hold up the old legends because she can speak to the spirits, and she tries to do everything so that the spirits still protect their family and everything. And of course, it's about the relationship that she has with the Winter King. It's not really like a love affair or a love story there, which makes it very interesting, I think, because it's complicated. And I loved The Bear and the Nightingale. It was like beautiful writing, like beautiful nature setting, everything, like word story, everything. And we have here in the second book, of course I cannot say much about this because you need to have read the first book to know where this is actually setting off. Vasya is leaving the the house of her father, goes out into the world to make sure that her family is safe, and she wants to explore. She wants to travel, and of course she will be entangled in the politics and in the real life out there in Russia. Because before that she was actually relatively safely in the uh, uh, in the area of her father, and now she's having no protection from her family, and the only one who's trying to look over her is the Winter King. And Vasya has to decide what she wants to do with her life, and also what her role in society is, or what her role in the story in the story of her life is. And it's some kind of I wouldn't say it's a coming of age, but it's a coming into yourself, so to say, for Vasya. Um, she what I can say, because I mean that's on the back of the book as well. She is masquerading as a boy to do all of the stuff that she is doing, and she will be a heroine in this book, and she will see her uh, brother and sister again that left home in the first book, and she will become a very important part of what the Tsar and what they are doing against the Tartars attacking villages. And we will find out, what's the fantastical part, what's the folklore part there, what is Vasya's point of view there, and very important. Of course, we have, this is a very accurate historical setting, at least for how people are treated again. Like, it's a bit like in Mexican Gothic, but of course, it's the question: what is a girl to do in that time? What is she allowed to do? What she is not allowed to do? All of her actions, of course, have consequences, and that's the thing. It was heartbreaking. I think this book was heartbreaking. It was beautiful written. Um, eh, the same things as in the first book I can say about this. It's like it has so many important messages for girls and society in general, because you can see how much we would grow, so to say, as a society if girls could be more appreciated. And you can see here how brave she can be, but she's still trying to comply with society as much as she can. And I love that, the whole thing that she's so torn between everything, doing the right thing, making her brother and sister happy, which means being a nice girl and doing what girls should be doing, but also trying to help and being of service. And you know, having an opinion and wanting to change something as well. And because she is the magical, I wouldn't say like the magical wielder, because she's the connection between the real world and the folklore stuff. So she's the link, and we learn a bit about the background, and also the background of the magic and the witch situation in her family as well in this book. I loved it. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. I just hope that people will read the second book once they have read The Bear and the Nightingale, and I really, really tell everyone to read this, because, as I said, 5 out of 5 stars. If I could give 10 stars, I would give 10 stars. 2 strong books in a series. It's very rare. Usually you always have something that's like, it's like either middle book syndrome, as we had with Shelby Mahorine, or that is just not as enticing somewhere, or slow somewhere. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. I love this, and I cannot wait to read the 3rd book, although I wait for winter to come. So probably in December I will read the, I think it's called The Winter of the Witch, which is the 3rd and the last book. But this is super. And the second 5-star book, and the last book I will be talking about today, is John Gwynn's The Shadow of the Gods. It's just, I can't say how much I like this book, and I'm so happy that I liked it. It's a new release. It just came out in May this year, and I was chasing this book for quite a while because it was sold out everywhere. They had to reprint it. And I actually have, as you can see, I have Malice here. I haven't read it yet, but because this is a Viking setting, I was so intrigued for this story, and I'm so happy that it's so good. Can't imagine. We have multiple POVs here. Very important. 2 of the 3 characters that we are following are women. We have a mother who is trying to find her son who was kidnapped. We have a young shield maiden who wants to make her way in the world, and we have a guy who tries to avenge his sister, the death of his sister. And as we progress in the story, we learn about the world. We learn about you know, what their background is as well, of all of the characters. And this world is as I said, it's Viking inspired. It's very Norse. It's very Scandinavian. It's it's after a long time after the gods are dead. There was like some kind of, as you could say, like Ragnarok. There was a huge battle, and the gods are dead. And we know that there are humans now that are descended from the gods, who are either hunted down or used as slaves. And the bones of the gods, for example, they are very, very powerful. You can use them for magically protecting, for example, your city or other areas. And as you can think, there are loads of fractions here, and people who want to take power and think about how they could go there. We have war bands, mercenaries in a way, who work for one jarl against the other. And it's, as I said, it's very connected to Scandinavian politics at that time, and I love it. And there are people who try to use these bones or get back to the old age. That's what I say. I leave it there. I love this because the women in this book are so no nonsense. There is no it's very hard to say that, but there is no kind of weakness in them that's not understandable. And to read about women, you know, trying to make their way in life and being very tough, because this is a tough environment where they are living, and fighting, making decisions for themselves, also having like loss, but not breaking down from the loss, trying to move on and doing something against the situation. I love this so much. I love to see that John Gwynne, he's a male author, to write believable women in a setting which is so brutal, women and men who just try to survive in their own way. And of course you have a lot of action scenes here. Everyone's talking about the action scenes. We know John Gwynne is very good at them. That's what I can say. It's always exciting to read it. You don't need to know many details. He will give all of that to you, even if you're not like the war expert. It's enough to follow. The only thing that we had here, everyone was talking about it, is that he uses a lot of Norse-inspired words, and if you have no idea what that is, you really have to Google it, because there is no glossary in here. So I heard that in the paperback edition there will be a glossary. Very good. I hope that they will include it in the hardback edition, the second book as well, which is coming next year, and I cannot wait for that. I hope it's like the beginning of next year, because it's so good. It's so exciting, this story. And I must say that I don't read that much Viking stuff, although I like it. And I cannot say, is this now better than other books or not? But I like the fantastical approach here, because it reads so real. But on the other hand, of course, it's a fantasy Viking version. So I don't wanna say more. I think this is one of the best books I have read this year, and it will probably end up on the 10 best books in the end of the year. And I think this is also for people who are interested in historical fiction. They would still like this. What can I say more? It's so good. I really, really love it. And I'm happy that I just, you know, like, I don't know if I forgot everything that I actually wanted to read, because I was thinking about this the whole time. And I mean, it has a dragon. As you can see, it has a dragon. I will not say whether there is a dragon in the book, but you will find out. And now with the cliffhanger of an ending of this book, you just want to know, are the gods coming back or not? And we will have to wait until next year. But I will. And I will read that. Okay, guys, this was a very weird ending of the last review I had here. But these were my books that I read in July, and tell me what you actually read in July. Is there a book that you have read here as well? And what did you think about it? I'm really, really interested to know whether you are different from my opinion there, or what did you like, what did you not like. Subscribe if you're interested in my videos, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye bye.